J-Dog, easy play, anytime, stop, nada, much. Slayer, Boxer, C, Bisu, Savior, 16 of the most powerful StarCraft gamers in the world. LG, Intel Centrino, GOM TV, Star Invitational.
Welcome back to the GOM TV StarCraft Invitational. This is Nick Tastel's plot. Stumbled over my name there. Broadcasting to you from Seoul, Korea. We have an exciting match today. Stork versus Flash. Two of the best players in the world easily. This is a moment in esports history. I can't wait to see how this is going to turn out. Two geniuses in their own right. Flash and Stork. Now, I just found this out yesterday. I have to reiterate this because I was so shocked when I discovered this. Flash is only 15 years old. He's literally only 15 years old. He's a freshman in high school, and yet he is easily one of the most brilliant strategic minds that there is today. This is going to be a really tough fight for Stork, even though I've predicted so far that I think Stork will win 3-2. That's mostly because the maps themselves are just so difficult for the Terrans. I mean, Katrina and Bekmagoji particularly, carriers are just so powerful on them. The first map we're going to be playing on is going to be Katrina. This, I believe, is the hardest map for Terran in the tournament. Stork is one of those players that his build orders are just so impeccable. They're just so strong that usually he gains, so much of an advantage early on. It becomes very, very difficult to take him down mid-game to late game. Stork is also an excellent Protoss versus Terran player. So that's also going to be something else that's going to be tough for Flash. But Flash just yesterday in the Star League slayed Bisu 3-1. He is just taking out everybody who's good. Not to mention, Flash had some very, very tough opponents coming into this tournament. He took out the likes of J-Dong, Savior, and even Anytime. So I have to say, it could be anybody's game right now. Flash also seems to be proving that Terran can, in fact, win on this map, despite how difficult it is. Stork versus Flash. I can't wait. I am so pumped right now. It's going to be so good. I still can't believe how young Flash is, though. This just blows my mind. I don't know how you become, the best Terran in the world and go through puberty at the same time. I mean, that is just unbelievable. So props to him for that. It looks like both Flash and Stork have joined the game. Oh, whoop, actually, Stork just left. Both the players want to make sure that their mouse settings, that their keyboards feel right, that their brightness levels on their screens are perfect, because, StarCraft's, a StarCraft game it's like a baseball glove. You have to make sure it fits comfortably. You feel like everything's right. Otherwise, you can lose so easily. I mean, this is a game where you have 300 actions a minute. Sometimes even 400 actions a minute. I know J-Dong clocked one at about 450 in one of the previous games in the tournament. And that just goes to show you what a fast-packed, action-packed, intense game this is. Flash really, really proving here that you can win despite the imbalances. Everybody says that all the maps in the tournament were favoring Protoss, and I would have to agree with that. But then again, with a player like Flash, it's pretty tough to figure out what it's going to take to beat him. He did lose once to Anytime, but still, he managed to wipe Anytime out shortly after that defeat. I actually spoke to him before the tournament, the very first day, and I said, what do you think your chances are getting out of your group? He said, I think they're good. Not only that, but I think I can win this tournament without too much difficulty. And that's, at the time, I was like, well, your group is pretty tough, though. But he seemed very confident, and his confidence has shined through. He's ranked 7th in Kespa. Oh, great, we're getting some English on there. He's ranked 7th in Kespa. I believe the second highest ranked Terran in the world. Although, at the rate that he's been playing, that could be subject to change very soon. So Bisu's going to have a tough fight with this guy. It's not going to be easy for either of the players, obviously. But again, a player like Flash is no one's easy opponent. There's a shot of Stork. This is the guy who won the World Cyber Games World Finals, defeating PJ and taking a victory for the Koreans. Stork is a powerhouse of a player, ranked 2nd in Kespa, only behind Bisu. But now that Bisu just lost to Flash yesterday in the Star League, he might not be number 1 for that much longer. He's a very, very powerful player. He's done a lot of proxy gating this game against Terran, so there is a possibility we'll see that. Although Flash has done an incredible job of just deflecting proxy gates, or every single proxy gate that people have thrown at him. It seems like there's no clear way to beat Flash or Stork. And both of them get exponentially stronger as the game progresses. These guys have incredible late game ability. The map listing of the tournament is going to be Katrina, Bluestorm, Bekma Goji, and then if it goes into a 4th and a 5th game, Katrina again, and then Bluestorm again. Stork, an incredible player, beat Berserker 3-0, making it look easy in the semifinal match. I was blown away because Berserker took out Bisu, making that look easy. So I was really expecting a better game from Bisu, but then again, this is a player like Stork making it that much harder to pull off a win. And very soon here, the game will begin. I do see both players in the game now. It looks like they're saying that they're ready as well. Stay tuned.
이게 지금 가야 돼요. 바로 필요해서.
오영종의 질럿들 앞쪽으로 전진. 자, 탱크 하나
탱크 잡아준 다음에 드라군이 보겠죠. 질럿이 너무 뭉쳐서 움직이는데요. 약간 터트려 주고요 했는데 지금 질럿 녹아요. 오영종은 지금 인터셉터 숫자보다 캐리어 숫자가 많은 양상이에요. 그렇죠. 지금 인터셉터를 모을 시간이 필요하거든요. 오영종 선수는 여기서 막으면 인터셉터 모을 시간이 없어요. 지금은 이제는
Here we're looking at some previous games. And man, look at this. There we see Flash. What looked like was going to be a loss in one of these games. Excuse me. Just showing some excellent control here. And then this was the game I believe it was against anytime. I could be incorrect. The screen on the screen. But this is the game where it looked like Flash was completely dominated. And then somehow Flash, I don't know, punched in cheat codes and came back with way too many units and just won. And this is on the map that it's so difficult for the Protoss to win. I mean, for the Terran to win. So he's really proven that he's just a monster. I'm curious to see, actually, if Stork is going to be going for some early carriers again on this map. That seems to be pretty popular. Here we see some of the fans out there in the audience. There's a Flash sign. I believe that was on the Flash side of the crowd. The crowd is actually split. Half of the crowd to my left is all Stork fans. The crowd to my right, all Flash fans. Split right down the middle. Both of them very popular players. Both of them very skilled. Esports history is about to be made. Can a 15-year-old genius, who, by the way, has only been playing the game for 3 years and started playing when he was 12, beat a seasoned professional gamer who just echoes brilliance in how he plays, a player named Stork? We're still waiting for the game to begin, but shortly it will go underway. Some other players Stork has taken out are players like Free and Hwashin. Players who are very, very good. Hwashin was actually one of the people I predicted to get out of his group.
어찌됐든 캐리어가 모이면은 골리앗이 많다
Now we're taking a look at Stork's game.
조금씩 이득을 취하면서 역전을 하는 것이 프로토스의
Stork really knows how to use his carriers on this map. He's proven that he's better than all the other Protoss players in getting carriers on this map. He knows how to get him at the right time. He doesn't get him too soon. He doesn't get him too late.
한 대 정도 더 떨고 가야 됩니다, 일본성은.
And for a match like this, it's going to be critical to figure out if Stork can get the carriers at the right time, assuming he does go carriers. We did see BC getting arbiters on this map. It is critical to see if a player like Stork can actually do it against a macro god like Flash. Oh man, I remember this game. This was unbelievable. This was the game against Berserker, where here we see Stork dominating them. Stork overextends himself, and what looks like it's about to be a painful loss. Then we see Flash push in. Excuse me, not Flash. Berserker push in to Stork's main. And it looked like Stork was going to lose, and then Stork pulled a Flash and came back. And it was unbelievable. He had that hidden expo at the top right. Berserker, known for being aggressive,
못 지키죠. 근데
it ended up working against him.
이거
And then the
센터도
carriers from Hell came
이제
in.
깨질 것 같은데요. 이거 센터 깨지면
I gotta say, I was blown away by how well
기관
Stork played
시설
this
하나
game.
둘씩
His carrier
날라가고
control is just impeccable. Getting another shot of the fans. Some look excited, some look nervous. A big moment for both of these players. The GOM TV StarCraft Invitational. Two powerhouses. Two legends. The player voted most likely to get out of this tournament was actually, or excuse me, I shouldn't say get out, to win this entire tournament was Slayer's Boxer with a whopping 35.8% of the votes. Slayer's Boxer losing in Group B, and here we only have these two good players left. A lot of people say that Flash, I was talking to Grimto actually yesterday, and he said this too, that Flash is going to be one of those last generation Terran players. Just epic. I still cannot believe how young he is, though. I wonder what his brain looks like, honestly. To be that good and that young, imagine his potential in a few years even. He could be unstoppable. Stork knows that. Now is Stork's time to prove that he's still the dominant player. Again, Katrina, a tough map for the Terrans to win on. The architecture of it makes it very favorable for carrier harassment. Also a back expo in the main. Fast Nexus is pretty common. Stay tuned. The game has begun. There's no turning back now. There's no more time to practice. Flash versus Stork in the grand finals of the GOM TV StarCraft Invitational. Flash at the south and Stork at the north. We could see right off the bat Flash's screen. Every SCV counts. He has to move it to the exact right mineral patch. Players like these have even calculated which mineral patch they should bring their SCVs to or probes to first. Now, what we want to look for to begin with is how will the Protoss open? Will he be getting a fast Nexus? Will he be going for Gateway first? Terran's build is pretty predictable, although I have seen Terrans go fast command center on this. Terran will get a supply depot, then the barracks, then the refinery, and get some type of factory, and then probably expand earlier than we would normally see. Protoss have a bit more flexibility, although Protoss have much more flexibility in general for what type of build orders they can open with. We previously saw Flash go for a lot of early upgrades on this map, which makes the Goliaths much stronger against the carriers. And looking at the mini-map, it looks like we can see that, in fact, Stork will be going for that early gateway. Flash positioning his buildings in such a way that he's walled off. We did see Much go for an early proxy gateway, proxy Reaver drop, but Dragoon Rush at the front, because most Terrans are likely to expand so quickly. Flash may be prepared for something like this. However, that doesn't matter because Stork's not doing anything of the sort. Cybernetics Core now out for the Protoss. Reavers are also very popular on this map because Reavers are great units to support the tech to carriers. Forces the Terran to make a few extra turrets and leave their base a little bit later. It's also good for delaying pushes, so we may see some of that as well. Stork has started scouting, as has Flash, scouting at the exact same time. Because Stork scouted so late, it's pretty clear that he's got a build ready, whether he gets inside of his base, his opponent's base or not. And looks like we still got a shot of Flash's screen over here. I got two screens in front of me so I can see the Protoss' base too. So that's why I'm telling you both of this. What's going on both bases. Now Flash has not gotten Marines early. He went for a very early factory. That's probably because Stork's probe did not make it inside of his base. That way he can squeeze out the factory early. He doesn't have to make Marines. The spot for that. Dragoon range being upgraded now. And double gate. This is generally an indicator that we will see some Dragoon pressure early on. However, they are very far apart on the map, so it'll take the Dragoons a lot longer to get there. Flash now expanding with a fast command center. Now, both players are aware that fast expanding is pretty common, so Stork is probably aware that his opponent's already expanding very quickly due to the fact that he did not see the Marines in the or coming out of the barracks. Means he's saving minerals. Here comes the Dragoon pressure now. This will force Flash to pull a few SCVs off of the depot, or excuse me, onto the depot to repair that. However, the distance here, I'm wondering if this is going to be worth it for Stork to do. The fact that Terran's already fast expanding and Protoss is going for that early Dragoon pressure means that this could be very difficult for Stork if the game progresses into mid and late game. Tank is now out for the Terran. Dragoons are going to have to back off. And wow, it looks as though Stork is continuing to pump Dragoons heavily. Now going to be getting a Nexus pretty soon here. Now the Dragoon pressure is coming on pretty hard here. And Flash cannot afford to lose this depot. If he loses the depot, the whole game could end very soon. As you can see, Stork's carefully microing his Dragoons towards the repairing SCVs, then backing away. Siege mode is now done. Hopefully that is in the correct position, but no, Stork is backed out once again and is now attacking the barracks. He's got to edge the siege tank up here in the perfect position so that he can actually not be bum rushed by the Dragoons that now have Dragoon range. Flash did expand much quicker than Stork did. That's generally bad news for the Protoss, but I mean, obviously Stork is aware that this would have happened, so I'm very curious to see how he's going to play this out. Very defensive game so far. Looks like Stork's now backing out with his Dragoons. And we finally see the Stargate now for the Protoss. So carriers will be teched at this point in time. He will have enough Dragoons to hold off any type of early rush. Now here comes the armory for the Terran. And the Academy. The Academy will be used to scan for the carrier. Stork carefully positioning those Stargates in the location where Terran is least likely to scan it. Terrans normally scan around the Nexuses. Although Flash may be even prepared for that, may scan in the middle, since it seems like all the Protosses tend to build their Stargates there now. Once the Terran sees the Stargates, that usually triggers the push. Because if you get too many carriers on a map like this, you're almost unstoppable. Note that Flash also got that second refinery pretty soon. So he'll be going for a very gas-intensive opening. Really economical way to play the game. He already knows that carriers are most likely the opening on this map, so he's going to need a lot of Goliaths and a lot of upgrades. As we can see, very withdrawn game so far, but a very typical game for pros on Katrina. But once the carriers start coming out and the Terran starts pushing, this game is going to get insane. Two scanners. Scanning one location. He did scan the Nexus, and Flash did, in fact, scan over the Stargates. So he is now aware that the carrier tech has begun. We previously saw Stork tech to carriers rather late, but he's got to switch his build-up. Flash has been studying his games and trying to figure out exactly how he plays so he can respond accordingly. So far, well, look, excuse me, it looks like Terran is going to be expanding pretty soon. The next expansion, this is a wise move by Flash. Terran tried to get this expansion up, the next expansion up pretty quick here before the Protoss can get the expansion up, hoping to hold off the carriers. Now note that Flash has impeccable macro. He never misses a beat. It's one of the reasons why Protosses have been having such a hard time with him. I mean, if you forget one pylon, you're likely to get run over by Flash's army. Now, as for Stork putting a pylon at that expansion, he wants to use that as a spotter. He knows that his opponent's going to expand there. These players have practiced on this map so much, they have a very, very, very good idea of exactly what their opponents are most likely going to be doing. Now it's going to be a matter of execution. Here comes Flash now, pushing out. And hold on one second. All right, sorry, somebody had to come and fix my monitor real fast. We were having some screen problems here. All right, the game's begun. Or at least the action's beginning to pick up. The game started a little while ago, actually. Stork now expanding over here at the top right. That's a very difficult expansion for Terran to reach, and it's going to be very easy to cover with carriers. Stork now moving his Dragoons out. He knows that he can't let Flash get too far across the map. Rushing in with Dragoons, if Flash decides to start the push, he can rush in with Dragoons, force him to siege, and then back off again. Continue to do this pattern until he can build up enough carriers that he can overwhelm his opponent. Here come the carriers now. Looks like he's going to go for some main harassment. He's probably going to try to draw Terran's forces down towards his main and then rush in with the Dragoons, taking them out. Here he goes, taking out that turret. Now moving in for some Goliaths. +1 attack has already been given for the Goliaths. I know that Stork is also upgrading his carrier attack as well. Here comes Stork's carriers now, moving in. Flash seems to have a sizable amount of Goliaths. And he will have to back off. He may be able to harass some SCVs from behind that expansion, but Stork knows better than I do on when to attack. This is the build Flash likes to do. He gets those 2 armories and just upgrades so fast that by the time the Protoss has a reasonable amount of carriers, the Terran already has a 3-3 ground army, and the Protoss' army melts like butter. He's moving into the back now, trying to draw a few more Goliaths over there. He may also try to rush into the front with the Dragoons. Now attacking the engineering bay. Now he's going to back out pretty quick here. He can't afford to lose too many carriers, and one's going to go down. Bad news for Stork. A total blunder on his part. Losing the carriers like that early. It really affects you. When the Terran decides to push, he needs every single carrier he can get. The harassment is important. Wow, Flash has already checked that expansion. This guy's a genius. Sometimes I feel like when I watch Flash play, it's like I'm watching that Deep Blue chess computer program. You know what I'm talking about? Like, he's just so bright. He makes all these excellent decisions. I don't think that Stork has gotten the interceptor upgrade. I saw that he clicked on the carriers and it only had 4, although that might have just been a new carrier that had come out. I hope to God he actually remembered to get the interceptor upgrade, or he's going to be in a lot of trouble. He's moving in now, harassing these Goliaths. But it looks like Stork's attempt to harass the Terran has not really proven to be that effective. An observer checking out exactly what the Terran has, sees that he's already got 1-1. He could... Okay, here he comes now! Moving in for a possible expo kill, using the carriers to pick off any tanks that are around. Now flying in and picking off one more tank in the back. Hopefully that was the right decision for him. Carrier's in a rather vulnerable position and actually not taking out as many tanks as Stork probably would have wanted, but Stork not losing as many units either. This is a big deal. There are a lot of people down here. The KTF basketball team has even shown up. And yes, KTF does own a basketball team, in case you were wondering. That was not a joke. Here the Dragoons are backing out now. And it looks like Flash may have decided this is the moment to push. This is just so bad for Protoss. He's already lost that one carrier. And Flash is now moving out with a 2-2 upgrade. Or excuse me, 2-1. One armor, though. Goliath is going to be very strong against carriers. Stork is going to have to utilize the way this map is structured if he wants to win this. Here come the carriers now, coming in at a good angle to take on these Goliaths. Flash sieging up now, but going to push forward a little bit sooner here. It looks like he's going to be going towards the main. And he's actually just taking out all of Stork's interceptors. Stork now has to rebuild. Looks like the attack upgrade on the Goliaths just completely dominated all the interceptors. Flash knows that he has to attack now while the interceptors are rebuilding. He's pushing forward at a very fast rate. Splitting up his army so that one attacks the expansion, the other goes to the main. He knows that carriers can't be everywhere at once, and he might take out one more carrier now. No, he manages to back off, but Dragoons cannot hold this attack on Stork's front. And now Goliath's coming around from the other side, taking out one carrier, and coming in from another angle too. And it looks like Stork may be losing on a map that favors Protoss to a 15-year-old StarCraft genius. Only 2 carriers left, and I think this game may not last for too much longer, as this expansion will go down, and his main may go down as well. Goliath's being microed perfectly, rushing in to pick off carriers. Another one's taken out, and it looks like he may even get a third. GG, Stork has already surrendered. Flash has won the first game. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Stork looks almost in shock that he was beaten so easily on a map that favors Protoss. Flash 1-0 right now. Dominating. Man, that was unbelievable. Somebody on the forum says shout out to Tulsa Tech. What's up, guys? Cheers to you. I also want to give a quick shout out to Little Susie and Honest Tea. Also, of course, the people at TeamLiquid.net. I hope you guys are all enjoying this. Well, I can't believe the Flash dominated his opponent that easily. That was just unbelievable. I mean, he made it look easy, to put it simply. Flash really showing that it doesn't matter what map you're playing him on, he's going to do very, very well. The next map is going to be Blue Storm, another map that a lot of people say Protoss can dominate a Terran on, but can you dominate a Flash on it? That is the question. Flash, just a ridiculously good player. Both players stepping out of the booth now, going to do a quick bathroom break before that game begins. So until then, we sit and wait for the next game to happen. Now, this is going to be pretty tough for Stork. Stork lost the game on Katrina. That's the map that is supposed to be hands down favoring the Protoss. But Flash's fast Goliath upgrade build just seems to work so well. I gotta say, I just can't believe how easy Flash made that look. It wasn't even like there was that much action within the game. It was like Flash's build was so well calculated, so well orchestrated that he just moved out of his base and went in for the kill. Made it look like child's play. So we're in game 2. Again, the map is going to be Blue Storm. The third game is going to be on Bek Magoji. A lot of people are saying that all the maps in the tournament favor Protoss, and I would kind of have to agree with that. I think, not that they're ridiculously favoring Protoss, except for maybe Katrina. it is true that the Protoss seem to have an easier time on this map, especially with the carrier tech. The carrier tech seems to be very strong on all three of these maps. Now, we did see Stork open up with Proxygate on this map. Because it is a one-on-one map, there is a higher probability that something like that will happen. But then again, Flash seems to deflect these proxy gates and all these rushes so well. His micro is so good. That's one thing you got to note about Flash, is that Flash doesn't really have a weak side. He doesn't have some type of Achilles heel that you have to go for if you want to beat him. Some players, you know, they might have great strategy and great macro, but you know if you do some type of simple rush to them, their micro is so poor that they won't be able to stop it. But no, not with Flash. And Stork, I believe that his strongest area is in his ability to strategize. He's really good at just outthinking his opponents. But his micro, very, very good too. I mean, he wouldn't be doing all these proxy gates and winning with him if he wasn't simply walking in there, out-controlling his opponent, and then slamming them. Here's the flash cam. This game, really tough game.
오네요. 바로 오네요.
진을 갖추고 있는 이 왜냐면 다른 질럿들은 그냥 직선으로 오거든요. 돌아서지 않고 다이렉트로. 예, 마인이 매설되어 있지 않은 곳이기 때문에 KT에서
here we see once again.
이영호
really showing that he's an incredibly good player.
멀티 카렌스 시브이도 없고 그렇죠. V지경으로 본진까지.
네. 그때는 11시를 안 지켰을 때고 지금은 봤단 말이에요. 11시까지. 아, 이거
그렇지요. 마치 뭐 지금 번호사를 내고 뒤에는 말하는
It's been a tense atmosphere down here. There's no StarCraft Informational. There's so many people that are so excited to see this. Here we see another game. This is Stork, actually.
굉장히 골치 아프거든요. 많이 하나 남아있나요?
This turned out to be just a wild game as well, with the Dragoons rushing in there, taking out that tank. The double bunker. Actually, excuse me, I think my screen might be saying the wrong information. Excuse me, I'm saying something incorrect here. This was the moment where all those Dragoons got taken out, and it was GG there. And Flash won that. Excuse me, wrong information on my screen. I was pretty sure that was Flash we were watching. All right. Well, we've seen a little bit of highlights from both of these players on, you know, how well they have done on this map, which makes it even more exciting to see how this is going to turn out. There is a possibility, again, that Stork may go for some type of rush, but Flash may have already predicted that. Flash may be scouting around his the outside of his base with an SCV to make sure he can spot those proxy gates. But with a player like Stork, he might be able to spot the proxy gates early and then still lose. Two powerhouses, Stork and Flash. Unbelievable. Looking on the game, someone says that game wasn't really so much Flash's win as Stork's loss. I would agree. Absolutely. I think Stork, he got a little bit too aggressive with those carriers and then just kind of botched it.
지금 드래곤을 실어 날랐죠, 미리. 드래곤 넷을. 거기서 실어 날르고 리버와 드래곤이 떨어지면은. 드래곤 탱크도 잡아주면. 입구가 입구를 안 뚫고 바로 뒤로 다 들어왔거든요.
This was the game against C, where both players attempted to wipe each other out. His micro is just so good. You think it's going to be some type of a draw with all these vultures coming in here to try to take out all of these, all the probes. Nothing ever defended. Then look at this brilliant pylon wall up. He walls himself inside with a pylon so that he continued to take out all of C's units. Unbelievable.
탱크가 나오자마자 이거 탱크를 쏴야죠. 그래서 탱크가 나오자마자 잡히고 팩토리를 전명 당했다는 것 때문에 추가 병력은 아마 테란이 나오기 힘들 것 같고요.
This is the moment where suddenly C realizes that even though he has vultures there, it doesn't matter because with the Dragoons and the Reaver, he can just take out his opponent. Here we're seeing with some zealots making it very, very difficult, but then rings are just so weak. against some of those units.
변혁수
There he goes, rushing back there,
필패라는 것이
taking out that depot, so
절대 못
wall
나오죠.
in.
필이면 또 둘 다 살았습니다. 예, 원스캔으로는 나오기에 한계가 있는 상황이고.
This was just where we really got to realize how good Stork is in
김병구 선수가 너무
type of
잘했네요.
technical rushes.
초반에 질러 컨트롤 진짜.
Really impressive. This is the GOM TV StarCraft Invitational. We're still waiting for this game to get started. Flash probably very happy that he's already got this big advantage early on. The young prodigy, Flash. Stork probably very frustrated that he did not get that, what should have been an easy win on Katrina. Flash already won one of his matches in the OSL, 3-1 against Bisu, the number 1 ranked player in Kespa. Flash rapidly becoming the best Terran on Earth, perhaps the best Terran ever at this rate. A 15-year-old genius. Stork, a very seasoned pro gamer, a veteran. He was not always number 1, but he practiced and trained so hard that eventually he became one of the best Protosses of all time. Quite a strategist. And, you know, I can't believe we're watching 2 of these giants play each other right now at this invitational tournament with all of the greatest StarCraft players of all time all duking it out. And we have 2 players left who are, simply put, 2 of the best in the world. Looks like the game's going to get started soon. So stay tuned.